Hey guys, it's Sandra from the Champion Canine. Today I wanted to talk to you all about prong collars and why I love them and use them, and I recommend them for just about any dog out there. So there are a lot of negative misconceptions about prong collars, but I find them simply not to be true. Prong collars allow you to effectively communicate with your dog, and when you're walking, it's all about good communication. They're humane, they're effective, and they take the least amount of pressure to have a good conversation with your dog. I only recommend using Hermspringer prong collars. You can find them online. They're made in Germany. They're made of high quality steel. They're very effective and they're very reliable. I definitely do not recommend going to your local pet store and just buying any old prong collar off the shelf, because there's a huge difference in quality and reliability between a good Hermspringer prong collar and one that you just buy at the pet store. Hermspringer prong collars come in two different sizes. You've got your smaller 2.25. So the links are smaller, the diameter of the collar is smaller. Each of these links come apart. You just press them together and they come apart. You've got your chain down here. So you have your D-ring. This D-ring swivels, and this is what you attach your leash to. You also have your stopper, which is this ring right here. So unlike a traditional choke chain, a prong collar can't actually choke your dog because the stopper doesn't allow it to get smaller past a certain point. You have your larger 3.0, so the links are larger, the diameter is larger, everything about this collar is larger. Generally, I use the larger one on dogs that are over 50 or 60 pounds, or dogs that are really strong-willed, where I need a lot of leverage to communicate with them. It really kind of depends on the dog's temperament whether or not I go with the smaller one or the larger one. But a good rule of thumb is over 50 pounds, the larger one, under 50 pounds, the smaller one. And you can add links or take links away so that you get a proper fit for your prong collar, which you'll see in the next video clip what that looks like. I always recommend using a carabiner with your prong collar just because I have seen them fail. I've seen them fail both in the way that the links are not put together properly. So if you were to only put one link together, there's a good chance on the walk that that link would just come out. I've also seen the actual buckle on the leash fail. So I'm not a huge fan about regular buckles like this right here, only because I have seen them open while on the walk. And then if you don't have a carabiner attached to your prong collar, then off goes your dog. I'm a big fan of buckles, leash buckles that look like this, only because I find them a lot harder to open than the other style. But even with a buckle like this, I still recommend using the carabiner, just in a different way. So if you're using a leash with a buckle like this, this is how you're going to use the carabiner. I'm using the other leash only because the carabiner is too large to fit on this leash. What you would do is you would attach the carabiner to the buckle of your leash. You're then going to attach the buckle to the D-ring. So D-ring, buckle. You're also going to attach the carabiner to the same chain that your D-ring is on, so it looks like that. So you can still get that popping action, but what happens is if your buckle were to fail, it's still attached to your leash. So say buckle fails, you still have a way to be connected to your dog's leash. If you are using the other kind of leash buckle that I really like, so if you're using this style, you're still going to use the carabiner. So what you're going to do is you're going to attach your carabiner to the big stopper buckle, or O-ring, just like that. And then you would attach this to your dog's regular collar. So say this is the dog's regular collar, this would also be attached like this. So what happens is if one of your links were to fail, you're still connected to your dog's regular collar. So even if your prong collar fails, you're still connected to your dog. And so that's what's important about the carabiner, is that if it fails for some reason, you're still connected to your dog. In the next couple of clips, you'll see how we introduce the prong collar to a dog that's never worn one before. It's really important that you introduce the dog to the whole concept of pressure on, pressure off. You don't ever want to just put a prong collar on your dog and go with it. You really want to introduce it to them properly. All right, everyone, I have got a 3.0 Hermspringer prong collar here. I always like to open it like this, let it hang loose before putting it on a dog, just to make sure it's not tangled, all the links are in place. I'm going to be putting this high up on his neck. You can open any link and put any link together, it doesn't matter. So right behind his ears, you can see how it's right behind his ears, high up on the neck. It is pretty tight. I can still stick my fingers through, but you want it pretty tight so it doesn't hang low or fall low and provides the most effective communication. You can use both hands to turn it, just kind of jiggle it. You want the chain to be in the very top of the dog's neck. The D-ring, which we talked about earlier, is the ring you'll be attaching your leash to. He has never worn a prong collar before, so we'll go about some conditioning. I'm going to let him go to the end of the leash. He's going to feel pressure. He's going to hold steady pressure. And as soon as he gives in, that's the pressure off. So pressure on when he feels it, pressure off when he releases. So pressure on. He comes towards me, pressure off. Pressure on. He comes towards me, pressure off. And it's all very slow movements. You want to be calm and relaxed. Pressure on. It's just steady pressure. As soon as he feels it and acknowledges it, the pressure comes off. Pressure on. Pressure off. Pressure on. Pressure off. So again, pressure on. Pressure off, because he's moving towards me. Pressure on. Pressure off. Good boy. This is how you introduce a dog to the pressure of a prong collar. Sometimes it takes dogs a while to figure it out. Some dogs, it takes 1 or 2 times and they've already figured out how to turn the pressure on and off. He's doing a very good job.